चाहे कोई गुणगान करे, चाहे करे निंदा कोई.
News Services Division of Akashvani presents Northeast Diary.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to this edition of Northeast Diary. As we explore the northeastern part of India, it gets intriguing to know about it in each episode. Let me tell you about the excitement in today's episode. Today, we bring an interview with author Mridusmita Das, hailing from Assam, where she shares insights into her fascinating journey of self-discovery and resilience. Also, in our news segment, Enchanting Folktales of Northeast India, we delve into the captivating world of Northeastern folklore, unearthing tales that have been passed down through generations, revealing the magic and wonder of Northeast India's storytelling tradition. But for now, let's go to Manipur, which is hosting Northeast India Film Festival 2024. Film is a dynamic medium that holds significant influence over society, serving as a potent form of communication. In India, the vibrant tapestry of culture finds its vivid portrayal through cinema, showcasing the nation's diverse heritage. Recently, the Northeast India Film Festival 2024 commenced in Imphal, underscoring the government's and various organizations' efforts to promote filmmaking and celebrate cinematic artistry. Providing us with insights from the festival's inauguration is our correspondent Thokchom, reporting from Imphal.
The Northeast India Film Festival was inaugurated by the Governor of Manipur, Susri Anusuya Uike, at the auditorium of Manipur State Film Development Society in Imphal on Sunday. The festival is being organized by Thauna Manipur in association with the State IPR Department, State Art and Culture Department and Film Forum Manipur under the sponsorship of Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India. Akashvani News Northeast Diary interacted with the organizer of the festival, and he said that there will be competition among the films screened during the festival. He said,
"My name is Yengkom Nil Chandra Singh. I am the chairman of the organizing committee Northeast India Film Festival 2024. Our main objective of the Northeast India Film Festival 2024 is to provide a platform for filmmakers, distributors, critics and other interested persons from across the Northeast India to attend film showing and meet to discuss current artistic developments in films by providing panel discussions and master classes for learning on aspects of filmmaking, to showcase their work and connect with the industry professionals and the mass communication students. Northeast is not only the end point, but a gateway of security and prosperity, the essence of the breathtaking beauty and the diverse culture and heritage of different communities of Northeast India would cross the border and open to the rest of the world through cinema. And not the least, India comprises of many communities having their own traditional art and culture. To bring unity among the diverse communities and make our country strong, our youth need to feel proud of being Indians in their hearts. This can be best possible through cultural unity, and no doubt cinema is the best media for spreading this message to the mass. And this festival would certainly help them to their understanding. This is our main objective.
Around 17 films will be screened at 2 different places. These films include Garo, Assamese, Tangkhul, Anal, Manipuri and many filmmakers from different states of Northeast region are participating in the festival. While interacting with one filmmaker from Assam, he expressed thankfulness to the organizer for organizing a film festival for Northeast states. He said,
मेरा नाम नव कुमार नाथ, मैं असम से हूँ। यहाँ पे मेरा फिल्म कुही पटो रॉन्ग आज शोकस हुआ। इस टाइप का फेस्टिवल से मतलब हम लोग जैसा फिल्म मेकर जन्म लेता है, जैसे दिमाग खुल खाता है। हम लोग जैसे बच्चा था चाइल्डहुड में, हम लोग हॉल पे जाके पिताजी के साथ, मम्मी के साथ, दोस्तों के साथ फिल्म देखा। तो उस टाइम में हम लोग जिस टाइप का फिल्म देखते थे, थोड़ा गाना बजाना, अनरियलिस्टिक मूवी जो देखते थे, वो सब भी मूवी है, वो एक अलग मूवी है। हम लोग जो करते हैं एक रियलिस्टिक मूवी, ये इसमें थोड़ा हम लोग का ट्रीटमेंट अलग होता है। तो अभी इस टाइप का फिल्म फेस्टिवल में जाने के बाद ही मालूम पड़ा कि फिल्म क्या है और कैसा होना चाहिए। तो उसके बाद हम लोग का फिल्म का जो टेस्ट है वो चेंज हो गया और फिल्म फेस्टिवल ही हम लोग जो फिल्म बनाता है उसको प्रमोट करता है, लोगों के सामने, ऑडियंस के सामने ले जाने के लिए एक राइट प्लेटफॉर्म बोला जा सकता है।
Recently, N. Biren Singh-led state government has given special attention on improving the film infrastructure, acknowledging the importance of film in a society. Jeje Thoksom, Akashbani News, Northeast Diary, Imphal.
Enchanting folktales of Northeast India. In Northeast Diary, we embark on a journey into the heart of the vibrant cultures nestled in the enchanting landscapes of Northeast India. Today, we invite you to delve into the captivating world of Karbi folktales, an integral part of the cultural heritage of the Karbi tribe. Nestled in the verdant hills of Assam's Kabi Anglong district, the Kabi people have long thrived amidst the lush forests and rolling plains of the region. As one of the major ethnic communities in the Northeast, the Kabis have preserved their traditions, beliefs, and the way of life through generations, often encapsulated in their rich tapestry of folk tales. In the absence of the written records, these folk tales serve as the primary vessel through which we can glean insights into the early history and cultural evolution of the Kabi tribe. They offer a window into a world where humanity's existence intertwines seamlessly with the rhythm of nature and the land. Through the medium of radio, we aim to bring to life the essence of Kabi folklore, exploring its myriad facets and unraveling the layers of tradition, beliefs, and societal norms that shape the Kabi way of life. These tales not only provide glimpses into the ancient customs and rituals, but also delve into universal themes of love, envy, morality, and spirituality, reflecting the timeless essence of human experience. Join us as we embark on this immersive journey where each episode of Northeast Diary promises to transport you to the mystical realm of Karbi folklore, offering a deep understanding of this unique culture and its enduring legacy in the tapestry of Northeast India. Karbi Tales. King Sapati. In ancient times, there was a kingdom named Dimarua or Dumura. A Karbi king ruled over it. He had 3 queens, but none had any child. It is therefore that the king, queens, and the people alike were saddened by it. The king had a considerable number of servants and maids. In order to save the pedigree, the Dimarua king cohabited with one of the maids. Although the youngest queen was aware of the fact, the elder 2 queens were quite in the dark. The youngest queen did not stand as an obstacle to the king at all. If a male child would come from the maid, he might ensure the continuation of the royal dynasty. But at a certain point of time, the tidings of the king's illicit relationship reached the ears of the 2 elder queens, and they flew into a rage. They warned the king to drive the maid away from the royal campus forthwith. Finding no means whatsoever, the king too ordered his subordinates to banish the maid to the thick forest on the bank of the Kolong River, Itila Bil, a lake-like pool of water. As was the order, so was its implementation. At that time, the maid was at her advanced stage of the pregnancy. She, however, spent her days with shelter and assistance of the neighbors. And by the Dimarua king, forgot the story of the maid completely. Amid the weeds of the Kolong and the Itila, she gave birth to a male child one day. As he was born amid weeds, the boy was named Ikara Raja or Ikara Resh. He began to grow up day by day. His mother too kept the story of his birth a close secret. The maid brought up another boy of the same age as her foster child. The Dimarua king had a kuti. For buffaloes, there was a Chalong Kilak, white buffalo, One day, the cowherd drove to the weeds of Itila for grazing. The buffaloes grazing on the earth of ridges were pushing them with their horns. As Ikara Raja had built these ridges on the bank of the Beel, he was bit peeved at the buffaloes' actions and therefore, in a fit of rage, killed the white buffalo and distributed its meat among the neighboring villagers too. One poor widow unfortunately got no share of the meat and so felt aggrieved. On the other hand, the news of losing the white buffalo made the Dimarua king and his people terribly sad. People in groups were sent all around for the buffalo, but none could find it. Those were the days of hot summer. Facing the blazing sun, the people got tired after their thorough search of the buffalo. They took rest for a while under a hijal tree. Thereafter, trudging through the nearby village, they got into the house of the widow so that they could quench their thirst. While trudging, stink of some dead creature kept sticking to their nose throughout. When asked what it was, the widow thought, reluctant to open her mouth initially, later divulged that the son of the king had killed a white buffalo and distributed its meat among the villagers. The villagers had dried off the meat in the sun that day, and that's why it stinked. As she got no share of the meat, there was no such stink in her house. The cowherds reported to the Dimarua king all that the lady had told him. The king took no chance and without any delay marched to the place with a contingent of soldiers and drove away the people residing beside the Kolong and Itila of the Tegheria hill. The youngest queen coronated her son Ikara Resh as the king of the land and rehabilitated her foster child by providing him sufficient land in the Sapati areas. He was known as Sapati king. But the Sapati king did not stay steadily at one place for a long time. His days were passed staying for some days here and some days there. For some time at the house of the Tegheria king, afterwards at the house of Krim or the Khairam king. Whenever he got the opportunity, he sought a share of the Tegheria king's landed property too. At that time, the Tegheria king reprimanded him, saying, "O Sapati king, you are wandering like a waterang bird, hornbill, spending one day at the Tegheria king's place and next at the Krim's. How will you get land and other properties making such demands?" After the scolding by the Tegheria king, the Sapati king returned to Sapati kingdom situated beside the Krim kingdom. People believe that the pair of horns and a rib of the white buffalo are still in possession of the Sapati king and the Tegheria king, respectively. Now, we present an insightful interview with Mridusmita Das, a multi-talented software engineer who splits her time between Guwahati, Assam and Greater Noida. With a remarkable background in engineering and a passion for writing that stems from her childhood, Mridusmita has ventured into the literary world with her debut novel, A Widow Rebirth from Her Ashes. A powerful narrative of self-discovery and resilience. Additionally, her enchanting children's book, Sparrow and Michigan, Amazing Adventures of Joy, Jojo and Juby, has garnered acclaim for its ability to whisk readers away on a fantasy journey. Joining us for this conversation is Priyam Chattopadhyay, who will explore Mridusmita's fascinating journey and multifaceted interests. Let's dive into this engaging dialogue.
Hello, Mridusmita. I know you prefer to be called Mridu, and you are the author of The Youth. Basically, you have been brought up in Assam. So would you please share how it has been in Assam and what actually inspired you to read and write books?
Thanks, Priyam, for giving me this opportunity to share my childhood memories of Assam. Assam is a feeling. It's a dearest feeling I could ever say. As a child, I grew up in nature. I used to play in my father's garden, chasing butterflies, always carefree, living a dream life, I think, which most of today's kids do not have. I was not having any gadgets with me, but I had all kinds of friends in the nature. I would play with the beetles, with the butterflies, with the tadpoles, with the frogs, which would come in the rainy season to our bathrooms.
Wow.
And as a kid, I used to love every bit of it, every season in Assam. Raindrops on the tin, that was a lullaby which used to put me to sleep. I still remember that. So it's an emotion when you say Assam. When I was growing up as a kid, my father used to give me some books, children's book, every summer break. I used to wait for those thin Assamese English summer books which would come. And then there would be these book fairs in our schools where we would get some little pocket money. My father would give me lots of money for that. And I would get lots of books for me and for my growing brother who was a kid then, like me. And yes, those were unknowingly the seeds that were shown unknowingly. But then just before my teens, I wrote a poem, Pokhila, Assamese poem,
Which is like...
butterfly.
Okay.
Pokhila, it meant freedom, and it was about a butterfly. Like I said, I grew up in that surrounding. Unknowingly, knowingly, I was always in nature. So
Nature inspired you to write.
nature inspired me to write. It was one of our vacation. I was in my maternal village, Hajo, and it's called Panchatirtha. So I was there, and then I wrote that poem, and I told my parents that I had written something. My father was so proud of me. I didn't know that this was that great moment for him. My mother was very happy. They sent it to Khadin. It's a weekly newspaper those days, and it got published. I was elated. It felt great. I don't know what kind of a feeling. It was not a show off, not a something else, but it was an emotion that came out. Maybe that was something I was meant to do. I did not know that then, but
It happened and it led you towards writing and
Towards-
reading
yeah.
and enjoying literature, right?
yes.
So this is about your inspiration during your childhood and how you got to get into the process of it. What about when you were in college or when you became an adult and when you realized and witnessed more? What inspired you then?
Like, love is a word which changes over time. When you are a kid, maybe you know your mother's love. Maybe you know your sibling love, but then you fight with him or her. You know your father's love, but that might have a little respect with love and respect. But the love is changing. In college, I met the life partner. I never knew that I am going to meet him there. So I initially got enrolled to veterinary, Khanapara, that's AAU. My father is now a retired veterinary professor. He was into gynecology. So he got me enrolled there. I was there for just a week. And then I got a seat in the electronics and communication engineering in Sri Nandanam College. It's an Anna University affiliated college in Vellore district. So I moved there. Everything was pretty unknown, right? You move from Assam to down south. Now, I was very anxious. But my father, he little bit challenged me. Okay, isn't it something that you want to prove to yourself? And that was his way of making me do things. And I thought, oh, he thinks I can't do. So the challenge made me stay back there. It made me love engineering. It made me explore all of those. It made me score. It made me write. I did not write as in this. I got involved with someone, right? We used to exchange love letters. That's what we started writing.
Okay, that's interesting. So
His name is
Dot.
Harsh.
Okay.
He proposed me really a scene out of a Bollywood movie. I never had a boyfriend. I was a serious, studious girl, 18 years of age then. So it was a November day, 24th of November, still remember, 2003, just into the first semester. And then I was with my friend, and then we just entered a classroom, and that classroom was all empty, and she just left.
okay.
And then all of a sudden, Harsh comes, and he's just on his knees. He just tells me, then I have been observing you for quite some time now. You are always with that Assamese group of yours, and you never come out of that. So he just take out an Archie's big card, a very big dairy milk, and a big red rose. Everything was big. And then there was a small Ganesh idol. And he just gave it all to me. He says, I think you should be my girlfriend. and it was innocent. I don't know whether as an 18-year-old I have not grown up that much, or those were those days. It was very pure.
But I would jump to the question that what exactly you were going through when things started to crumble, like when the COVID era came.
Okay, now we are fast forwarding from 2003 to 2021. Don't want to cry right now, but yeah, because we just spoke about that phase and strike difference now. 2021, 30th of May was the day I lost him. It was one of the prestigious hospital in Delhi, and yes, he breathed his last there, and they said that it was just 5 minutes before you arrived that he yeah. But my senses, I don't know how it was working that day. I was the one summoned upstairs to the COVID zone to confirm the death. And just before that day, I got a chance after pleading and praying and everything to just meet with him, because I was not allowed to meet him since he was COVID positive and he was in that COVID area in the ICU on ventilator. I was not allowed. So he was my friend and he supported me everywhere. And like when I got placed in the campus, when I was facing tough days in my maternity, everywhere, right? He was a friend, come a husband, come everything for me at one point. And then you lose him. Then I lost all of that package. My friend, my husband,
your support
system is all gone.
And sorrow became your sweetest friend while you were writing the book. Like the humidity and the rain in Assam.
I don't know what to say, but yes, his not being there, but his presence always is there. He is physically not there, but maybe he is just standing here. When we are recording, maybe he is just here. And he will always be, because I have a child. His reflection is always what I see in her.
But you decided to name your book as Widow. Yes, and then you said rebirth from her ashes.
Yes, I'll tell you about that. Life is to live, so live it lively. When I was in a relationship with him for almost 10 years, after that we got married. Like every relation, it had its ups and downs. He was struggling to get into airlines and I was doing my IT job. So I was discovering this when I say love has different phase. So our love was maturing. Life is to live. So when we're apart also, we lived. It was not only about us. It was about, feeling what life has to offer. Look beyond, right? Life has seasons like the year.
Right.
We have our summer. We have our spring. We have the rainy days.
Even each moment in a day could be like that.
Yes, so true. When I lost my support system, I was not me for many months, 8-9 months. I was not the Mridu. But slowly, I got all my therapies in place. I had those sessions taken.
Got your act together.
Got my act together, right, Priya? Then I thought it is my moral responsibility. Maybe God has given me a ray of hope, which I need to share with the world, because people face this situation. People become a widow or a widower at maybe what stage of their life, but to have somebody like companion for so long and suddenly lose her or him, and then with that void you stay back, and then the society has many things to tell you. They mean something, they say something. Yes. So all of that
every word means something.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, what message would you give to the youth?
I just want to say, stay loyal, be there for your partner, and support them wholeheartedly. Don't try to barter this emotion that is love. Love should be unconditional. You should be present for them, for as well as you. Love yourself first, and you are filled enough to pour into the other cup, because you can't pour from an empty cup. So take care. Spend time with you. Heal yourself, and then you can pour back. If love is true, then even death doesn't matter.
Death cannot tear you apart.
No, that cannot tear us apart.
That's beautifully said. As for the general public, sometimes they find cultural differences a huge thing to, adjust, or they call it compromise, and it involves food habits, it involves literature reading habits. So what would be your message for them, how to accept these cultural differences and get along irrespective of cultural differences?
When I got married to the family that I am, Bihar, huge cultural difference. And also when I went to South India, huge cultural difference. But it depends on you, basically, how much you can imbibe, still be you, and people around will feel like if you love eating rice, it's okay. If someone love eating roti, that's fine. You together can cook roti and rice both. Let's eat little of both the things. All these are my home feeling, you know. I have felt all of this.
Rice against roti.
Rice against roti. Because when my parents used to come, my father would say, my mother would say, ruti khabo ekdom mon nai, moi ruti khabo nwaro de, bhatat kune ruti khai. Mane bhat mane bhate kham.
Right.
No, bhate kham mun etia moi bhate kham. So lunch and dinner means rice. Without the rice is an emotion. How can I ask them to have roti?
Rice.
Yeah. So we had to balance that out. But yes, cultural, I used to enjoy both. Means I used to love the Bihari Chat music. Because they were the Maithili ones. So the Mithilanchal language is very sweet. Very sweet.
Indeed.
But because of my Assamese roots, I find
You
it...
can figure out, yes.
Yeah, it is very much similar if
Very
you
much
listen to.
true.
So when I just went to their village, when I got married as a new bride, right? So I could understand what everyone is telling, and they were like, the dulhan ko to sab aata hai. But difference is huge if you have that in your mind. But over the years, it assimilates. It's not only about the marriage thing. I have friends from all over now the world. So when I had gone to US, I met some US native, my friends. I am a horrible cook, but even they used to love my rice, dal, whatever I cooked.
That's a beautiful part about acceptance.
Yeah, and they would just admire whatever effort I had taken to cook them simple rice and dal and some sabji. That felt very good.
Had they read your book, Sparrows of Michigan?
Sparrows of Michigan, Amazing Adventures of Joey, Juju and Juby. This is being liked by the kids whom I met in the Assam Book Fair.
Yeah.
A bunch of kids came into our stall. I have described a sparrow's nest. I have said that the sparrows had a bathroom, sparrows had a bedroom, sparrows had this library. So they kind of love that idea. How can the sparrows have this big house and cozy one? I need one. And they really liked that. And they just pumped me with so much of positive energy. I started write the second book on the series. It's gonna be out in summer, I think. So lucky to be invited to this Assam Book Fair to be part of it. And I could give my book to Ranoj Pegu, the education minister. I met him there and he was very inspiring. He said, we all experience loss. He said, Ami tu jibanot herao, kintu aguai joatue amar kam. Mane, amar eta driho protigya thakibo lage. We should be living, but living with a purpose. Amar eta jibonar uddesho thakibo lage. So he was very encouraging.
Every year we celebrate Women's Day. And today is 7th of March. So before it is 8th of March, what is exactly that you would like to vent out, I would say, for all the women listeners and for all women in general?
I actually have a poem, You Are Magical, from my book, the bestseller, A Widow Reborn from Her Ashes, which is my memoir.
And you are dedicating it to the women?
To all the women listeners who are listening to it, and
all women are lovely.
All women are lovely. And strong and beautiful.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. You are magical. You are joy. You are love. You are the brightest light ever. Why search in the world? You are everything you want. You are full within yourself. You are your guiding star. You are your healer. You are your master. You are your enemy. You are your teacher. It's within you that you exist. When you are full, can you give? Don't prove your worth, they don't deserve. Even with eyes, if they can't judge, you are magic, cause you believe. You have faith, so fate will follow in. You are gifted and you have learned that. Now you are sure on your path to success. To all women, happy Women's Day.
Thank you for sparing your invaluable time.
Thank you so much, Priyam, for having me here. I could speak my heart out. I just got a chance to connect with all my readers. Thank you.
You just heard an interview with author Mridusmita Das, shedding light on her inspiring journey. The interviewer was Priyam Chattopadhyay. So friends, now with that, we come to the end of this edition of Northeast Diary. Do join us next week to hear more stories from this enchanting part of India. Until then, goodbye.